Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lineman Life Live. It is Tuesday. Now, normally, Monday is our, you know how we do it, Monday, Wednesday. But, your boy had to take a long road trip, calculated the time. I was like, ain't no way. I'm going to make it. And ain't no way I'm going to even get close to making it. So we just have to redo it for Tuesday. So this is the makeup stream. We're making it up. Hoping you guys jump in here, hang out with us for a little bit, because we're going to talk about it. You know what's coming next.
Oh, no one can avoid this one.
Nobody could avoid this one. The slap heard round the world. Will Smith, my man, just got up on stage at the Oscars. Now, I mean, look, we all know the Oscars. I stopped watching the Oscars years ago just because it just got boring. It's like, bro, this is just actors giving themselves awards.
We're just like patting ourselves on the back, and
everybody's patting themselves on the back, and it's nothing really like entertaining, nothing spicy for the show.
It's not even just them. I don't watch the Grammys. I don't even watch the ESPYs.
Yeah. I don't watch the Grammys. I don't watch the ESPY. I don't watch the Tony Awards. I don't watch BT Awards. I don't watch none of them.
Yeah.
Award shows to me are kind of irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
They don't really have a real reason to exist outside of self-gratification. And I mean, hey, you know what I mean? And for some wild shit to happen so we can talk about it. Because look, I tell you what, they ratings got a nice little kick.
Yeah.
Ratings got a nice little kick.
I mean, Vince McMahon couldn't have scripted it better.
Yeah, I mean, this was some straight out of the WWE, just some straight flashy entertainment. Everybody kind of thought, and look, I woke up on Monday morning, and I hadn't looked at like Twitter, anything for like 24 hours. So I was like, why is Will Smith trending number 1 on Twitter? And then I just tapped on it, and I was like, what happened? But we'll review the footage here as always.
Throw the red flag.
Footage, and we'll the play will be up for review, and we'll then decide what we're going to penalize Will Smith with, because truth be told, hood rules, he might not have walked out that building alive if this was the hood.
I'm shocked. Well, granted, Chris Rock's like $150, so he knew who he had slapped.
Yes,
Will's a pretty big dude.
Who he could hit. He knew who we could do it to. I mean, and I'm almost quite certain that he did that, but mainly because he knew that Chris Rock is like 5 foot, 5'9", like small 150 dude. Soaking wet.
Small
like
dude.
not a guy who is, for him, who's like 6'2", like 220, probably 230, something like that. I'd say probably sitting around 200 pounds, heavy enough to cause damage if he wants to. This is a chance for him to just kind of put himself, right there and do what he want to do. and it's crazy because, I mean, there's 2 things in my world that another man that does one of these 2 things to me means we are on site every time I ever see you for the rest of our lives until somebody apologizes sincerely. It's on site. Anytime I see you, if I think I see you, I'm stopping what I'm doing. And I'm backtracking back to where I just seen where you was at. Yeah. And we going.
No words,
you can
nothing.
No words, no nothing. You might whoop my ass. I might whoop your ass. But the next time, it's going to happen again.
Same thing. Same
You're going to be quite accustomed to seeing my face in a battle formation.
Like you can't even leave the house because
you know what I mean?
Never know. You never know where I'm going to be.
You don't never know. And we live in the same neighborhoods. Will Smith and Chris Rock, they probably live in vicinity of each other in one of their homes.
Yeah. Surely they.
I'm gonna be when you get there for your. You know what I mean? When you show up for your summer vacation at your summer home that I'm on the other side of the block on, you're gonna see me just mowing my lawn, standing there, and I'm gonna just turn, and it's on site. I'm coming across the street.
Oh no! But that's what he signed up for.
That's what you just signed up for, and I mean, he's really. Let me make sure I got the right video here, because I need everything.
Yeah, you need that Australian joint with the without the 7-second delay or whatever.
I need to hear the curse words, everything. Okay, let me see if we got the unedited. Yep, unmuted, uncensored. Boom. All right, now we're gonna break this thing down because I mean you couldn't have done it better if it was a movie. The way this shit played out. But then we'll give our commentary. I mean, because look, man, I mean, like I said, there's two things you cannot do to me. You cannot slap me and you cannot spit on me. Those are two things that if you do those two things to me on site all night.
No questions asked.
Ain't no questions even asked.
Just come up.
On site all night. And that's what it's gonna be. And you just get used to it. So here is the interaction. We'll start it from the top.
If she loses, he can't win.
Now he's talking about Javier Bardem and his wife Penelope Cruz. Like they're both nominated for, I guess, the same award.
Oh, okay.
I think they were both nominated for the same award, and so I mean, he's getting his little jokes in on that. But he's actually about to introduce for the best documentary. So this isn't even like he's not even like hosting the Oscars. He's somebody who obviously has hosted the Oscars a few times, but he's just presenting for
just for one award.
Best documentary. Yeah, for
I did not
award.
know that.
So it wasn't
because I know he's been a go-to for the.
He's always been the host.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which he's always done a good job, I felt like. Like, I guess when I was watching the Oscars, it was when he was the host.
Yeah.
But he, of course, they're going to have him come on to present for Best Documentary. And, of course, they're going to ask Chris Rock they're going to say, hey, here's some jokes we want you to tell.
Do some Chris Rock shit.
Yeah, do some Chris. Just do you, Chris. You know how to do this. This is easy. This is like walking for you.
He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay.
Now, hold on.
I'm out here. Uh-oh.
Now, hold on now.
But he's still laughing.
He laughing. Look at her.
Hey, motherfucker. Don't you dare laugh.
And she probably seen out the corner of her eye this teeth and was like, hell no. And just eyes just shot over to his ass.
We all know that look.
Now, we all know that look. When they just look at you like, bitch, what the fuck are you laughing at? Now, full context here for some who may not know. Some may not. Jada Pinkett Smith, she has emasculated the fuck out of Will Smith over the last year.
My gosh. Yes.
She has taken this motherfucker's balls, twisted them up with a rope, and snapped them mugs off like they did in Candyland. Was that?
Yes. You can't play with
Django! We got you, girl.
She probably keep him in a little box.
She got this man's balls in a jar, in a mason jar, man, next to their bed. And I mean, if we're being 100 about this, it's pretty damn tragic because she emasculated him in a number of ways. One,
he's been the brunt of a lot of jokes lately.
The last year and a half, I mean, the last few years probably.
Yeah, ever since her red table shit came out.
That she had a red table discussion with this motherfucker.
It's like she's looking for she just humiliating this man at every corner. Every time I turn around, oh, you hear what they said? She put their entire marriage into the public sphere. Now look, you don't do that. You don't do that unless you want trouble. And not only did she put their entire personal life in the public sphere, she then admitted publicly to having entanglements with a guy named August something or another. I don't know. Didn't nobody know yesterday, or the day before, but I promise you, he's been Googled. That's gonna be subject matter for years to come and on the comedic circuit. I mean, I guarantee it, because of this. Oh yeah.
Now, she admitted to having entanglements with this cat, which, you know, I mean, you just don't put that out in public. I just can't understand why you would do that. But then, but also on top of that, there has been this everlasting cloud of manhood over Will's head because of who Jada Smith was close friends with in her life.
Yep.
Somebody, you might know his name, you might not, but if you don't, rest in peace. She literally grew up with Tupac.
Yep. Went to school together and everything.
Went to school together with them. They grew up together. They're closest of friends. We haven't seen any report that they did anything, you know, for the official record. But this woman loved this man and everything about him. And, you know, and I would assume in a deep way, in a deeper way than just the physical.
Yeah,
she loved everything about this man.
Like a kindred spirit type of situation.
Exactly. And it's one thing, for your girl to have a crush on an actor or a musician, but to have somebody as your wife who grew up with another guy who she damn near believes is more connected to her soul than you are. And on top of that, you yourself admit that you couldn't even bring yourself to talk to this cat, to get to know him, because you were intimidated and you were made to feel by your wife like you could not measure up to his manlyhood, to his level of manlyhood. That I would assume that does something very destructive to your psyche and to just your own self-confidence. Like, Will Smith has been battling that I would say he's been battling some very distinct insecurities because of that and probably other things we don't even necessarily know about. But these things have chipped away at any kind of confidence he's had in himself, I believe, when it comes to their relationship and his ability to be seen as the man. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
Right.
So from that level, he has got to feel like he's walking on eggshells everywhere he goes with her. Yep. Like he has to do more to prove that he's the man enough for her. And I guess if you're going to choose a target, you choose somebody who's 100 pounds lighter than you and 4 inches shorter, because you can lift him off the ground with one fell swoop if you want to. But let's keep going. Let's take a look. So that's the context on what's going on between them. I mean, not even to talk about the rest of the family, which there's a lot of questionable shit there too.
They're artists, they're usually some different type of cats.
But you like to think that a cat from what, West Philly, is able to keep some things grounded over the course of his life when it comes to
okay, my kids are gonna grow up like this. You know, I want them to like understand where that they were. You got to be a real person. Don't be some holier than thou thespian type shit, because that shit usually don't hold up too strong. But
people from his block are not living like this.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like
you can't go around West Philly talk about having your wife talking about you like this.
For real, like there got to be some principles now. You keep all that in the family. They can talk shit back and forth, in-laws, whatever, but you do not put it on social media. Do not put it in the public sphere, because then people will use it against you forever, because it never goes away once it's out there. We all know that by now. Once you go live, once you hit send, it never goes away ever. Shoot, but let's go through the rest of it. Break it down as we go. Now, he made a little joke about G.I. Jane. Honestly, the first time I heard it, I was like, okay, so
very
what?
tame.
What is that? That's nothing. That's not enough for me to get mad. That's not enough for me to get mad for my wife. And now I understand she has a medical condition. I forget what it's called. I think
she has alopecia.
Alopecia. There it is. Alopecia, which, I mean, it causes, it mainly happens with Black women, and it causes patchy hair loss.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, unfortunate situation for her. She's been public about it. And, as far as we know, we don't know if Chris Rock even knew that. Because it sounds to me like he's making this joke just in jest.
Like she just thinks she shaved her head.
He thinks that she just shaved her head, because that's a look that's come back in for Black women.
And
that's
in Hollywood,
style.
I mean, among Hollywood, actors and actresses, they go through different haircuts, and I mean, half
different
of them
looks.
They wear wigs usually, anyways. So it's,
absolutely.
This isn't like
out
of the realm of possibility.
It's not.
There's no way that he would, unless he watches, their programming. And I'm not even sure. I mean, I don't watch it, so I don't. I'm just going off what people say that she talks about it.
I've heard her talk. I've seen clips of it, but also, I mean, that's a style that a lot of like women in general are going to shaved heads, which on some women, I think on Jada personally, I think
she still look good.
I think it looks really good on her. I don't know why you would be so conscious about that.
Right.
Outside of knowing that she has that condition, but you now have made it. You've taken advantage of it. Now you look more regal with a shaved head than you did with hair, because I never thought she looked right with hair, to be honest.
I mean,
her hair was always a little weird.
Look at the ladies in Black Panther. I mean, they had the shaved heads.
And they
Royal
was
Guard.
looking like the Royal Guard in Black Panther. Yeah.
So it's definitely a thing.
So
I wouldn't have jumped to there's something wrong with her.
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening, I mean, and this is where I couldn't understand what the hell was going through Will Smith's mind. Like, you're a smart guy. You can understand like context and tone, the way that he was speaking. He didn't seem like somebody who knew. I mean, if he knew that she had alopecia, you think he would? I think he would have avoided that territory just because of the connection that they had. That they've been in the industry together. They came up in the industry together over 30 years. They came up together, so he's probably going to stay away from that out of respect.
They're contemporaries of each other.
Yeah, they're contemporaries. Like and you've seen pictures of them out together, basketball games, stuff like that. So they know each other. There's a somewhat of a relationship there, but this didn't seem like a guy who knew that she had a hair condition.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard.
God damn. Hold up.
What the fuck is he thinking at this point? What's he
He's like, oh man, he said, oh, this gonna be good. He gonna probably put me in a little headlock or something. Start talking about how short I am. Something crazy.
Yeah, I was expecting some Kanye shit.
I was
get up there and say something wild.
And look, the way he just like quickly started going to like get ready to present because he didn't think that the joke was really anything.
Yeah.
You know, so he just went right on after he talked about it. And then he's like, he's like, yeah, brother, come on, let's make this memorable.
Wow.
Slapped the taste out of his mouth.
Look, Will, he pulling his vest down a little bit, got that look on his face like, bitch.
Yeah, I did that.
I did that. I did. This nigga's like, what?
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of it.
Hey, to his credit, he ate it.
He ate it.
I mean,
he ate it. He did.
From a guy that's got 4 inches and probably 50, 60 pounds on you, I would expect, you know, a knockdown. Even if it is an open hand slap. Look,
if it was a good open hand slap, he might have knocked him unconscious with that. I've seen that happen.
Yeah, you see those Russian cats that have the slap boxing championships. Like, because I know if I slap Will, you know, that's kind of like Will slapping Chris is me slapping Will. He's going down, especially and he doesn't see it coming. So I just get a free, you know, sucker punch or sucker slap.
A straight sucker slap, like a completely unexpected. That'll knock somebody out. That'll knock you out.
Yeah,
for real.
You're going down.
You're going down. Like, you know, and if you look at it, if you look at when he did it, I mean, and you know, I think this is why people were saying it might have been fake at first. Is I honestly think now, after seeing it like countless times, I think that he used like a movie style prop slap on it. Now he did slap the shit out of him still, but I think he used that kind of slap so he would just hit him, but not like smack him. Because come on, man, we've seen cats, like you said in the videos, when you trying to get a real slap off, like you trying to punish somebody, you coming from up here.
Yeah,
you coming from up here and you coming down across his face. I mean, you are literally
yes,
because you're trying to knock him the fuck out.
You remember?
I think here he just hit him with the cross. It was a cross, straight cross smack. Hey, he had the boxing hand up too. I mean,
I'm about to say. I mean, you remember Ali? He was training. You know, Ali trained him for the movie.
Hey, so I'm telling you,
he knows a little something.
It looked like he was ready to defend, and then he's ready to defend with the left hand. Ooh, damn! Heard his whole torso on this cat.
I mean, the torque is crazy right there.
His torque was nice.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of it.
The show must go on.
Oh,
wow, dude! It was a.
Oh, see, now it got serious.
Yeah, now we got serious because
the slap wasn't even serious.
It's like, bruh, you were just laughing. That's what I would have said to him. You were just laughing at it. What are you talking
you
about?
laughed at the joke.
You laughed at it.
And it was a bad joke. And you still laughed.
And you still laughed. Then I would have just started going hard on Jada right then and there. I'd have been shit.
I'm going to turn the whole flavor of the show. It's about to get real uncomfortable.
Bring your ass up here and do it again.
It's about to get real uncomfortable. You seen like the reactions of all the white people?
Oh, the white folks were like,
I would have made them so uncomfortable. Everyone's got to believe.
Do we need to get out of here? Are they about to start shooting?
You think he has a gun?
I know Smith got a gun into this place.
I know Will's a safe one, but he still might have a gun.
Oh my goodness.
Danger.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
That's so over the top.
Bruh. That was acting right there.
That was so unnecessary.
Yeah, that was completely unnecessary.
Like I understood when he slapped me. I think I knew what that was about. Slap me and then say that shit. It was one or the other, you know. I don't need both.
I mean, this shit was wild because one, I mean, look, dude, nobody did nothing to him after this.
That's what's so crazy.
That's what blew me away is nobody did anything to him. Nobody did anything to this guy for going up on stage, interrupting an awards show, the awards show, as far as TV awards ceremonies are concerned.
Yeah.
And physically assaulting
like
another man. Like,
surely some of these people probably have their own security, but I can't believe that the event doesn't have security.
I mean, you know the event has security. It's just that they didn't do shit because it's Will Smith.
Like, this isn't even in the realm of possibility to them.
They were like, this isn't, if you ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances Will Smith gets up on stage tonight and assaults somebody?
Slaps the shit out of somebody. It's got to be a 0.
That's not going to happen. That's -5.
Or they're like, oh, this is probably going to be in their next movie together.
Yeah, like, that's -5. It's like, motherfucker, it's a full moon out. You see that? It's going to happen. And I mean, that's where, and it's crazy. And we're going to look at his little acceptance speech too, because that shit was like, bruh, are you serious? Are you really saying what you're saying right now? Because when he won Best Actor, the Best Actor Oscar, this dude just really went up and acted like he didn't just do what he just did. So we'll look at that here in a second. But look, man, everybody out there should know, like, that right there is some Hollywood shit. Because in real life, if you do that shit, like I said on Twitter, there have been plenty of motherfuckers who have been shot for shit like that.
So Chris been in Hollywood too long. You cannot turn your back on me if I'm not
for real. Dead. Hey, when he turned around, you
if I'm not dead and you turn your back on me, what?
Hey, you turn your back on me after you just hit me like that. He lucky he ain't get full. He lucky he doesn't have like a fractured vertebrae from me going through his back.
Dog,
him.
They're never gonna have another black person at the Oscars at all if I'm there.
For real, that's it for us.
None of us getting invited back.
They'll never let us back after what I do to this guy.
Like, we gotta go back to the Source Awards.
For real. Like, he turned around. Chris Rock could have just clocked him in the back of his shit, drop kicked him in his back, sent him right down the stairs. I mean, it would have been a full-on melee if that was me. Because ain't no fucking way.
Hey, Chris made sure I'm getting that invite next year.
For real. Ain't no way.
I'm hosting every year from now on.
For real. I mean, real talk. He could sue the Academy. Be like, y'all motherfuckers ain't providing me no protection.
Yeah, he ain't
y'all didn't do nothing to this guy.
He not fucking the money
suing. For real. Woo. Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. I would have been all on his shit after that. I would have talked bad about Jada some more.
Oh, yes.
I would have jumped on his shit. I would have tried to get him to come back on that stage and try me again. Try me again. Now, during commercial, of course, and Hamilton Berger says it here, Denzel, Bradley Cooper, P. Diddy, motherfuckers tried to come calm him down. They should have been trying to calm down Chris Rock, because if that was me, they would have had to hold me. They would have had to tackle me. I'd be like, motherfucker, it's me and you. As soon as the commercial break comes, it's motherfucker, it's me and you. Get your ass up here.
Remember Semi-Pro, the basketball movie?
Yeah.
And they was fighting in the commercial breaks. And he was like, hold on, everybody. We're about to be back in 3.
2, everybody gets back on their own. Okay,
you see them all like, it's all disheveled and shit. Like, people got like black eyes and shit. That's how the whole show whole show.
And they showed, I mean, there was some commercial there was some commercial, like during the commercial break, Denzel Washington said something to him. Bradley, I mean, but it's like, bruh, this guy, it's like you did something that really didn't make no sense to do, because you already kind of like contradicted your own like actions with how you acted before you did it. You were laughing at the guy's joke. Then you decided after you got to look for me, which I mean, again, which just reinforces the fact that his balls are gone. His balls are gone. They don't belong to him anymore.
She run him like a goddamn, I mean, like puppet, just whatever she wants.
I mean, she basically got her arm up his ass, just controlling his motions. Because, I mean, look, this is an illogical situation, but a logical response from a grown man is maybe you stand up and you say something to him in protest so the cameras can hear it and they know that you know, or maybe he stands up and says, hey, maybe you should, or I mean, if you're going to complain, you're going to complain, but that's where you start. You complain right there to him if you really got an issue. But also, better than that, you know this motherfucker.
Yeah,
hit him up
after the show.
You go holler at him after the presentation, after he gets done presenting. Maybe you walk backstage and be like, hey, look, bro, I know you know, we're cool. We're cordial guys. We know each other. Look, this is what's going on with my wife. She didn't appreciate the joke. You know, look, I know it is what it is.
Chris would have made it right.
Please go apologize to her when you get a chance, just so she's cool. For my sake. If you ain't got, you know, because she got my balls in a jar. For my sake, please.
I thought it was
apologize
funny.
To her. You don't have to fucking mean it. I don't care. Just help me out here.
Honestly, I thought it was funny, but Jada said you need to come apologize.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that bad.
Ergo, here I am asking you to go apologize.
So please look out for your boy. Help me out. Just go let her know real quick you're sorry. You didn't mean to. You didn't know that she was going through a condition, and let that be it. Let that be it. And you're done with the entire, and then there's no drama. Nobody knows anything. You know what I mean? But the sad part about this to me, in all seriousness, is that these are the two motherfuckers in this industry. These are the two guys in this industry that are, I mean, on if you're talking about a video game, they've already prestiged 3 times.
Yes.
They've already prestiged. They the only brothers in this industry who them and Denzel have prestiged multiple times. If y'all get looked at like how some of these folks look at black folks that aren't on y'all's level, then to them we all the same in their eyes. And I'm not saying this to like, you know, just, I mean, I'm just saying, and I'm just being real about what the reality of our society is. Like, you know,
if these two can do this,
then they're all just
savages. They're all just savages.
They're all animals.
Just right
because when they get upset, they don't know how to control themselves.
You know, Sidney Poitier roll over his grave. Like, these motherfuckers. God dang it. You know how many times you know how many times he must have wanted to slap the shit out of somebody at the Oscars? Come on now.
You know he probably missed a few opportunities, and this was the one where he was just like, fuck it. Fuck it.
You know, all them old cats had multiple times where they could have slapped the shit out of somebody.
I mean, you think Denzel ain't had them times? You know, and then look, this is him going after Chris Rock for a joke. But imagine what happens on sets behind closed doors, dealing with, you know, being those guys coming up in the industry back in the late 80s, 90s, 2000s.
But on the flip side, Paula ain't had Denzel out here looking bad. So there's nothing to go after there.
Yeah.
So, you know, you keep your shit in house and, you know, you're not the brunt of them type of jokes.
Yeah. And he himself personally has just been, his entire, low-key, his public reputation has just kind of been in the mud because he keeps, because of her, to be honest, because of her. Who else is it because of? Ain't nobody over here questioning Will Smith's manhood until we start hearing his wife come out and basically just talk about how she fucking other niggas around his back, and he knows, and they have an open relationship, which he clearly doesn't want. And, he's having to sit there fucking all teary-eyed like a little fucking teenager while she talks about the entanglements they had. Like, come on, man, don't no man want to deal with that.
Right.
And all that's going, he might love her to death, but at the end of the day, she is fucking taking everything about him that he loved about himself and she's made it hers, and she fucking directs it, orders it, and tramples on it whenever she wants to. So you want to, when people sit here and talk about like male, what is it? What do they call it? Male toxic masculinity.
Oh yeah.
Then what the fuck is what Jada Smith doing? What is what she's doing? What do we call that? Toxic femininity? Because this is all because of her. And look, they can say what they want about her hair, about her hair condition, but fact of the matter is, before her hair condition, she was already running over this dude. So it's not even like
it's been ongoing.
That's just another layer to the cake that she just added to it, to her level of control over him.
Yeah, she's definitely pulling the strings on that one.
She's the puppet master. And then, bruh, she came out and said, "Oh man, hold on."
Oh, she said something.
She came. Oh my God, bruh.
I know that they said that they're going to talk about it on her next show. I didn't see anything. Right. I haven't seen anything else from her.
Look, this bitch said she posted some shit on social media. I was like, whoa, bitch. Let me see. Where is this? Here we go. I'm gonna put it up here. Give me a second, and then we'll move on from this after we get. You got some nerve. You got some nerve, Jada. Oh, you got some motherfucking nerve. This is what Jada Pinkett Smith had to put on her Instagram after this morning or something like that. I believe this morning. And this shit is just outrageous to me. This is a season for healing, and I'm here for it.
I mean, I think to them, like, healing just means airing out our dirty laundry in public. I think that's
maybe
all healing.
To her.
Yeah, for her. Let's keep it funky. For her. No one else seems to be on board with that shit.
I mean, I don't even want to go through the comment section. I feel like that would just, comments to this post have been limited. Of course they have. I don't even want to go through the comment section because to me, this is like this is demonstrating in my opinion, this is like not great awareness, self-awareness, but also it's quite, I think this is cold because she's not giving any respect to the situation that is clearly at hand, and she's not presenting herself in any kind of
as the mastermind behind it all.
You know what I mean? Like, we know that you're the reason why this shit is happening. Like, don't act like this is the season for healing and I'm here for it. Like, what does that mean?
I mean, who's gonna heal Chris Rock's face?
For real. I mean, because I tell you what,
did he get an apology?
If it was me, I'd be asking who's going to heal y'all fucking bank account when I get done with you.
That too.
I'm suing you for every penny of your net worth, both of you.
Oh, I'm getting all that. I'm
trying to get all that.
I'm getting Fresh Prince money.
For real. I'm getting that Bel Air bread when this shit is done with. Matter of fact, I'm gonna own the rights to that show and the new one when this is over with.
I'm getting Bad Boys money.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna own your masters to all your albums.
I'm getting jiggy with it money.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna own everything.
Oh,
because I mean, there was there was some very good responses to this. One of them, which I think we look at, I think this is actually something I want to pull up to kind of sum this up, because let me see, where is it? Some of these people's responses, bro, I'm telling you, people on the internet will come up with the best fucking memes. All right,
my God, they're ruthless.
So, Jim Carrey had something to say about this, which this is where I 100% agree with this cat. 100%. Because, Jim Carrey is one of those guys who he's kind of been working outside of the Hollywood bubble recently. Like, he has the Sonic movie. He's kind of embrace that wacky part of himself again, but he's not trying to ingratiate himself with the whole elite level of Hollywood. And he don't give a fuck about awards. He just wants to make, movies, good movies for his,
do what he wants to
do.
For
his kids and for young audiences to enjoy, because I love him in Sonic, and I can't wait to see the next Sonic movie. I thought he was really good in Sonic. But this was what he had to say on the situation, because he's doing an interview for the new Sonic movie, and they asked him, what do you think? And he shared his thoughts. Let's hear what our man Jim Carrey has to say.
And then what happened after?
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless en masse. And it really felt like, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said, no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. That insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
No, I agree. I think we all agree on that.
I mean, is it any more simple than that? I think that's pretty simple.
Yeah. I mean, that is assault.
You never have the right to just come hit me because I said something, and I mean, look, there's much more demeaning things that you can say to a person that people wouldn't be mad if you got up and, and whooped their ass for it. But it doesn't mean you have the right to do that. There's got to be consequences, I think. Now, I don't know what those consequences will be because, I mean, look, the dude, and like he said, the dude won Best Actor and they gave him a standing ovation. Like, even the people in the arena were willing to give him a pass on it. But, I mean, as a man, ain't no way. No pass. Not on that. He's got to suffer some kind of consequence. But I think Jim Carrey is dead on this. He's dead on.
I thought, Jim, that it escalated to that. You know what I mean? That it escalated to that level.
It didn't escalate. It came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrated. And I wish him the best. I really do. I don't have anything against Will Smith. He's done great things. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment last night. A lot of people worked really hard to get to that place and to have their moment in the sun and to get their award for the really hard work they did. And it is no mean feat to go through all the stuff you have to go through when you're nominated for an Oscar. It's a gauntlet of devotion that you have to do. And it was just a selfish moment that cast a pall over the whole thing.
Damn.
And I mean, I honestly don't think that it can be said any better than that, to be honest, because does anybody know what any award, what award won for anything other than what Will Smith did in getting that Oscar?
Like I said, I didn't watch the thing at all.
Usually you at least hear about who won the best
picture,
film, right?
Best actor.
Picture. I don't know who won best picture.
Yeah,
I didn't even ask. Sure. I didn't even bother to look.
Now, I do know that Samuel L. Jackson finally won an Oscar, but I think it was like an honorary type thing because he's like my favorite. But
Samuel got an Oscar?
You wouldn't know because of this shit. Yeah, it wasn't like a best anything. It was, I don't know. I don't think it was Lifetime, but it was some type of honorary. I mean,
he should have had an Oscar.
His movies have grossed more than anybody in the world. Not that makes him good because sometimes you hit a
Transformers.
But yeah, he was in Star Wars. So I mean, that's an automatic billion,
for real. So, I mean, I guess just kind of wrap this whole topic up. I really feel like, I feel like Will Smith's a bitch for this. I feel like he's a bitch. I mean, and I don't have any. I like him. I've always loved Will Smith as an actor. I mean, just him as a brand is like has always felt like a breath of fresh air in anything he does because it's Will. Just like with when it's Denzel, you know. And I wouldn't even say Chris Rock is necessarily as good as Chris Rock's not the actor, but he's such a high tier comedian.
In the comedy game, though, he's up there in the comedy game.
Yes, he's one of the kings of that shit. Like, you know, you remember when they had Kings of Comedy? Like, those were kings of comedy. But this cat, I would put him above them even. Because him and Dave Chappelle, those are guys who can do anything because they have longevity.
And they crossed over to mainstream films.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
I mean, Bernie was in a few things before he passed. Rest in peace. But,
Bernie.
D.L. Hewley never really crossed over like that. He had a couple shows, but never really got basic. Well, the white audience.
Chris Rock had that. He had that full bore. I mean, they had like 5 seasons of Everybody Hates Chris. Like, it was, you know, he's a guy who has transitioned perfectly well over into mainstream as a black comedian. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and one of the things I always kind of like, you know, I'm not a massive fan of his comedy as far as my tastes go, but I've always respected that he is one of the juggernauts of comedy. And also my cousin who, you know, passed away a while back, she was an actress and she was in one of his movies as an extra, but she was in multiple scenes as an extra, which, you know, when I heard that, when she was telling me that, this is when the movie where he became president or he got elected president.
Oh, Head of State.
Head of State. Yeah. She was an extra in that in multiple scenes. So that's when I was like, oh, hell yeah. Chris Rock, you know, that's what's up. So this was, you know, seeing these two guys, seeing that guy be belittled over a fucking joke when you're a comedian and you know Will Smith as someone who has worked in comedy, that's just part of it. Mm-hmm. Period. For you to allow yourself to just be to really make a fool of yourself the way you did, slapping this dude. I mean, I don't give a damn what nobody says. That's some bitch shit. That is what a coward does. A straight coward. And I don't think that Will Smith inherently is a coward, but I think he's been made into one.
He had a moment
by his wife. And this just kind of sealed it. So now he's going to have to deal with this. And one of the reasons why sidebar, one of the reasons why I think suing him is the best course of action for Chris Rock, just for the principle of it, not even that you really expect to, like, you know, snatch his money up. But right. I think one of the reasons why you got to do that is because he is going to make money off of this. Mm-hmm. He will become richer, more enriched off of what he did to you. And it will live in infamy, and it will live in it will be famous.
Yeah. This will be the biggest Oscar moment ever.
There is no Oscars. This Oscars, the 94th Oscars, is the only one that will be remembered forever because of this.
Yeah.
And if he is going to benefit from that, then he needs to pay a consequence as well.
Yep. I know Chris Rock has also had an uptick as well. I know he's touring, I think, and they've had
and he's about to have a tour. Him and what's his name? Short motherfucker. Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart are going on tour together. And bruh, please tell me you've got new content just for this.
You know, he's gonna have to. You know, every comedian is just pin on fire right now, just with the Will Smith jokes, because there's a brotherhood. You know, like we are. You know, if someone fucks with one of our guys, we're gonna
fuck with one of us. You fuck with all of us.
We're gonna defend them
if we're there. If we're there to affect it, we're gonna affect it. Yeah, and I think with comedians, they're a fraternity. The ones
they're gonna circle up. And, you know, we're about to see some crazy Will Smith shit.
You know, Dave Chappelle's next stand-up special, he's going to go into it.
Oh, yeah.
You know he's going to go into it. But, I mean, it's almost like, again, he did it because he knew he could do that to Chris, and Chris probably would not retaliate. If that was Dave Chappelle, he wouldn't have did that shit. I don't give a fuck what he's thinking. If he would have got up on that stage, because Dave Chappelle is one of those guys, he got a cigarette.
He don't give a fuck.
You come up on stage.
He don't need to get invited back. He'll say,
real.
Fuck these Oscars.
He'll tear his shit off, throw the cigarette down, kick the motherfucker in his chest.
You know, walked away from a 8-figure payday or
For
whatever.
real.
You don't give a fuck.
So that kind of brings that to a close for us. I mean, we had to comment on this because I mean, this is the topic that's going around in the world, and we brothers, so we look at this and we think to ourselves, God damn, black on black violence at the Oscars? What the hell's going on?
And the two of the top, brothers out there. In the
two
game.
of the top brothers, like it's the cream of our cream of the
motherfucker. They couldn't have got like a best cinematographer runner-up to do this shit.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Now I gotta answer questions everywhere I go. So what do you think about Will Smith? Like, fuck.
Everybody want to know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So moving on from that, let's transition back over into what we normally get into, our NFL stuff. And obviously, the biggest thing I think today being talked about is the NFL overtime rules. Mm-hmm. NFL overtime, which in my opinion, and I think my opinion has been validated, like solidly validated, is that it is perfectly balanced. NFL overtime as we know it in the regular season, perfectly balanced. When you combine the postseason with it, I think that the team that wins the coin toss prior to these rules being changed, the team that has won the coin toss since they've changed the rules, including the postseason, has won 52% of the time. Perfectly balanced. It's balanced.
I saw something different. There, I saw a stat that was like 10 out of 12.
That's in the postseason. That's in the postseason.
Okay.
In the postseason, the playoff, the team that wins the toss has won 10 out of 12. But overall, it is much more balanced. It's a 52% overall for the team that wins the toss, which, obviously that's 48% for the team that doesn't. That is about as closely balanced as you're going to get when it comes to, levity. The NFL has now changed these rules. So in the postseason, and let me pull this up here. Let me pull up a little graphic to kind of give a clear understanding. In the postseason, the rule changes. Now, both teams will get an opportunity on offense. Now, this is where, again, you have just created a problem. You're giving an answer to a problem that really didn't exist, and you created inadvertently a new problem, which I'll explain in a minute.
This just kicks the can down the road a little bit. As far
That's all it does. Now, why does it do that? Because now, whereas previously the goal was to win the coin toss, now in the postseason, the goal will be to defer if you win the coin toss. Because you don't want to have the ball first if you know you're going to get the possession. You want to let the other team have the ball first.
So you can see what you need to do.
You can see what you got to do to win the game. So it's going to just flip and be the team that gets the ball first loses the majority of the time. I promise you, in the postseason, that's what's going to happen. Because now, if you're the Chiefs and you get that coin toss in the divisional round, you say, we're going to kick it to Buffalo, and we're going to see if they can go 75 yards to score from their 25-yard line. And if the Buffalo Bills can't score a touchdown,
now you just kick a field goal.
You kick a field goal, it means nothing. You just got to beat a field goal. Now, also, there's another scenario. If you get the ball first and it's 4th and 5 at your own 35, 40-yard line, you're going to punt. So now you're in a hole because now the other team
now it's
kick a field goal to win.
Yeah, now they can any scorer wins. Well, yeah.
Now, if it's 4th and less than 10, anywhere outside your own 40-yard line, you got to go for it.
You're going for it.
So it's going to be 4-down football the rest of the field. If the team that gets the ball first scores a touchdown, Well, what's going to happen now is teams are going to want to go for 2-point conversions all the time. Because you want to make it so that they can't beat you. They can only tie you. So what if you miss that 2-point conversion? Then
maybe
the coach
you should
is
just make you go for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, it should be like a I believe if you're going to do it like that, it has to be a non-debatable. You have to go for 2. So then it's either 8. You get 8 points and you go, and they can go for the tie, or you get 6 points and they gonna go for the win.
But I mean, essentially, I think that's what it's gonna boil down to. Why would you kick that extra point if because
you don't have to go for 2.
That's what I'm saying. If you go for 2 point, now you're setting yourself up to lose.
Yeah, but you know what the percentages are on.
But I mean, cats are missing extra points nowadays with the
they sure are
from the 15-yard line. So
they sure are.
That's not even a guarantee.
That's not guarantee.
Now granted, I'm sure it's a higher likelihood of making the extra point than a 2-point conversion, but it's not like NFL blitz where it's automatic.
No, I agree. I think that even with the 2-point conversion being a factor, I think that is something that's a bit of a bait, because 2-point conversions are like less than 40%.
Oh wow.
I think it's like right. Let me check. I think it's like right around like 40%, close to 40% or just under. 2-point conversions.
All these damn offensive gurus can't get 3 yards.
Hey, yeah, that's the shit that be killing me.
Or 2 yards. Shit.
Overall, 48%.
So the opposite of the coin toss.
Yeah. It's like you're literally just splitting hairs on a 50-50 success rate, whether it be getting the ball first in regular OT or scoring a 2-point conversion. So after you score a touchdown,
you're complaining about the same shit, except
it's just you're just moving it to different parts of the game.
At least my quarterback got the ball back. At least my offense got a chance. Like, well, shit, we still scored, and then the next possession you can kick a field goal and win the game. So,
and look, I mean, one of the things that kind of kills me is that, like, look, I feel like the game is so much more. I feel like it's so much more entertaining. To me personally, when in the postseason, and look, this was probably the greatest postseason the NFL's ever had. The one that we just went through.
There was only one game that didn't come down to the wire.
There was one game the entire postseason,
and it was in the divisional round.
Yes, and that was a divisional round. That was the that was wild card. That was Patriots. That was Patriots versus shit. Who do they play in their first game? Patriots versus somebody. They beat the shit out of somebody in the first game. But either way, there was only one game that was not either a last play of the game finish or overtime.
Yeah.
And that's like unheard of, because you just don't have that close of competition between teams. The Bills beat the Patriots. They beat the shit out of the Patriots. That was what it was.
Yep.
But the thing about overtime, as it had been before they just changed these rules, the thing about overtime was that it literally puts the onus on each group's unit that is on the field to basically change the game. The offense, you got to go score a touchdown. But at the same time, defense can win the game. And we've seen it happen. The defense can change the game, and that's what makes it even, is that not just because the offense has the ball does it mean they have a favor, that they're solely favored to win. Because we saw the very next week, after people complained about the Bill situation, we saw the very next week the exact same thing play out.
Yeah,
everyone in that stadium cheered like they were in the Super Bowl already when the fucking Chiefs won that coin toss against the Bengals. And those bums went 3 and pick. 3 and pick.
I will say that's the way the game is played now and officiated. I would say it skews to the offense. I mean, being offensive guys, I'm slightly biased.
I won't deny that.
But
I won't deny that.
It's not like we're talking about 1985 or something.
Yeah.
And a defense. I mean, the best defenses in the league now are still giving up damn near 20 points. So it's not like anyone's out there really stopping cats left and right. But they stopped them that once, and all it takes.
It's all that's all that matters.
They might beat us 99 times, but not tonight.
They might have scored on every possession they had during the game. But when it came down to the one possession that mattered, the Bengals picked them off and they won the game and went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I mean,
and damn near came back to win the Super Bowl.
So, now watch the next 100 be fucking go right with the coin toss.
Yeah. But if there's any example of exactly why it's balanced and it's actually perfect, because the big play moment can come from the defense as well. That would have been it. That should have sealed it. Okay, it's balanced because the same team got the same coin toss the very next week, and everyone in that stadium, everybody who wasn't wearing orange and white, was literally already looking on StubHub for tickets to the Super Bowl. Right, it was like, shit, this over. I mean, I'm sitting there this over. But again, the defense made a play. The defense was making plays, and you could tell that they had kind of stymied the Chiefs even before overtime.
Yeah, they were definitely,
because the Chiefs could have won the game. They were at the 4-yard line.
Yep. But as long as you don't end up in a Super Bowl situation where the Rams have 27 plays to win the fucking game inside the 10-yard line. The repeated, some of the calls. Yeah.
I mean, look.
The human element.
I honestly don't think the Rams win the Super Bowl if they don't call that defensive holding, that phantom defensive holding. I don't think they win because the next play is 4th down.
That's what I'm saying. Anyone's
and it would have been 4th and 5. They are taking a field goal at the very least. Yeah. But I think they needed a touchdown to take the lead.
I believe that's right. And anytime you have that many shots inside the 10, eventually you're gonna fucking score.
They got another set of downs, and they didn't even. I think they scored on 3rd down after that.
Yeah,
so they had 7 plays,
6 or 7 shots. Because I remember I was sitting in the stands with my phone out, oh man, I'm gonna catch the Super Bowl winning play, and I had to keep on fucking filming. I was like, God dang, this just lasted. It's like a college game, like a college basketball game. The last 2 minutes, the way it feels is dragging on forever. I mean, it was legitimately 10 minutes, I felt like, sitting there waiting for the last play to happen.
It went on forever.
And I'm sure it was even worse on TV.
I'm sure it was worse if he was having to call the defensive plays. I'd just be like, look, zero blitz every down. Fuck it. We just sell out for it, boys. Hey,
heat them up.
Just go for the blitz and go for a pick. That's all I want. Don't even just man up and go for the pick.
Yeah, you get beat. Don't even worry about it, man.
You know what I mean? Because look, chances are we're not stopping them, but when you bring 0 blitzes, that can cause a quarterback to lose their shit sometimes, and they do some dumb shit. I mean, we saw Kyler Murray. He just said, "Fuck it."
He threw a sky hook in that bitch.
And as soon as he let it go, I was just like, "That's gotta be a pick 6." Oh man, them freaking Rams or them Rams defenders was just like,
oh shit!
Oh my gosh. So I think that the new rules. Oh, my earpiece fell out. I think the new rules. I mean, look, it gives both teams the ball on offense. Okay, you got what the fuck you want. So when it doesn't work out like you think it is for your team, we'll just wait to hear what you got to complain about next.
Don't complain. Although I will say, what the Eagles and Colts came up with was, we talked about this a couple of times, was the worst fucking idea, the worst worded, it possibly could have been. Both teams get a chance. And that was it. Like that's it. Like, what happens after that chance? I mean,
yeah. So what about after that? What if they both score a touchdown?
What if nobody scores? What
if nobody scores? We just keep going. Or, it's just a regular game now.
So like, what's the thing? I mean, what's really going to happen? What about player safety? Now we're going to have to go back and forth for an extra quarter or two.
Oh my goodness!
But you care about player safety.
They don't care when it comes to that. As long as it comes to a situation with their team being able to get an advantage out of it.
Right.
That's where it all boils down to.
That's true.
Once it becomes a situation that benefits their team, then now they want to change the rules. And then once it starts shitting on their team and their team can't do shit because of it, or they suffer and lose because of that, now it's like, oh, well, maybe we go back to the old rules.
How come this didn't have as much momentum when the exact same thing happened to Pat Mahomes against Tom Brady?
No, I mean, people talk. You know what?
I remember there was a fuss about it, but it kind of died off.
About it, yeah,
it died off immediately.
It did.
It didn't make it to the owners' meeting. That's for sure.
It sure didn't. And that would, if there was any, I mean, that one was like a slow, methodical, just like, yeah, they're going all the way down the field on them, huh?
Tom made 2 calls and nixed that shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Hey, Mr. Kraft, dead that shit.
Yeah, we're not doing that. All right, we're not doing that. You hear me? We're not gonna do it. All right, so I guess that's that on NFL rule change. Now, me and Justin were talking about this yesterday, actually, and I want to go into this a little bit now because I think there's some things that we talked about, especially with this, because I feel like NFL just cannot get this shit right. So the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule has now expanded to include women. So, before we even get into this, for any of the ladies who are watching this show, just relax. I'm not a misogynistic individual when it comes to women in the workplace or anything like that. But I must say that I don't believe in the Rooney Rule in general.
I mean,
I don't believe in it, and I don't believe in its ability to be effective because the NFL has shown us that they will work around it anyways.
If you think these interviews with black men are a fucking joke,
then what do you think is going to happen when you step up to the plate?
I mean, and I'm as much for all type of inclusion and diversity as anybody, but I know how these cats work. They're also mandating an offensive assistant be a minority now as well. Okay, here we go. Throw it up right there. I guess this is thinking that since everyone wants the offensive-minded head coach, and there's black DCs. There's actually quite a few. But no one seems to be. That's not like the sexy thing is to hire the DC right now. So I'm assuming that they're thinking that this will lead to more, black OCs, black head coaches. That I doubt it, but
it didn't lead to more black head coaches. What the fuck makes you think it's going to lead to more women in coaching positions?
And one caveat: it could be a white woman, so maybe they'll go for that.
Whoa. Let's get into the article because Justin sent me this. He sent me this on text. I didn't get a chance to read it, but just looking at it, I was like, "Oh shit, here we go. This is the overreaction to a problem that we have not even begun to answer to begin with on the other end of the spectrum."
So I guess I can just interview the boss's daughter, and now we're covered.
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit of hyperbole there, but a lot of loopholes in this thing.
And also, this is something that I just find it very odd for a room of 32 owners who are 98% white. I find it odd that they believe that they can solve an issue with hiring minority coaches, GMs, assistants. I find it odd that they think they can create that solution. Why don't they just ask these minority coaches? But see, that's the thing. You would first have to be under the assumption that they give a fuck, which that's where everything kind of ends for me. Because it's like, even if you come up with this great idea, if you don't give a fuck anyways, you're going to find a way to just do what it requires and not ever go through with giving the actual achievement and giving the actual job to the individual. So it doesn't matter what you change the rules to. You don't give a fuck. It's all to look good. So it just doesn't really, I mean, that's why I don't care about the Rooney Rule. I never have cared about it.
They're always going to find a way around it.
You know what I mean? They're just finding a way around it.
You know,
like
you could say, example. You could say every third head coach has to be black. You know how long that second head coach is going to have a job?
Do you know what I mean? Like
that motherfucker could go 0-6, 0-17.
He's still staying on.
We're sticking with our guy.
We're sticking with him. We believe in him. You know what I mean? Like,
we just got to get some better pieces around them.
This shit don't make no sense because they don't care to begin with. If they actually saw the value in these coaches in the same way that they see the value in other coaches, because those other coaches, they're a little bit more comfortable around because those guys look like them. Those guys, they know, they watch the same TV shows. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, see,
Robert Kraft don't be kicking it with, he ain't kicking it with brothers like that. So you got to kick it with your head coach. If you're the owner, if you're the GM.
Does, apparently he's chummy with Meek Mill.
Oh, fuck out of here. Oh my God. That's his guy, Meek Mill, huh? Yeah. Just because he's just a great guy.
Name two songs.
Yeah, I'm sure. But
they probably go to the massage parlor together.
That's probably how they became boys. But let's run through this article real quick to wrap things up. But I just don't have no faith in this Rooney Rule stuff because it just has not shown any dividends at all. And it hasn't gotten better, and it's gotten way worse. Because, I mean, look, let's be real. They hired, 2 more coaches of minority in the NFL. But let's be real. Robert Saleh, Mike Tomlin, those are really the 2 true head coaches that were hired to be head coaches. The dude in Miami, I already forgot his fucking name, but they just threw him in. He literally just was like, him. Hire him. Like,
his 23andMe said 5%. He's good enough.
He said interracial. He's biracial. Hire him. Minority. Like, they just did all this just to look better with those hires. The actual true amount of minorities in the league that are head coaches, it's 2 guys. And if you're talking about black head coaches, it's 1.
Yeah.
Straight up. I mean, Lovie Smith, he's another guy they just threw in Houston. Lovie Smith was in fucking Illinois, ruining their program the last 5 years.
He ran that shit to the ground. Well, they didn't need any help running that program to the ground.
They didn't need no help. But he did it. You know what I mean? Like they hired him. That's a guy who, if none of this stuff was an issue or was being brought into the spotlight and in the media, they never would have hired Lovie Smith. Ever. They gave him, because I guess they hired him as a DC, then they upgraded him to head coach. They never would have did that. That never would have happened. It just never would have happened. Point blank, period. So the NFL has just been very reactionary, but this is even more so reactionary. So let's get into it.
And they had just fired another black head coach after 1 year. Cully.
Cully, who actually did something with that fucking flounder of a team they had.
That should have been an 0-17 team.
For real, they should have been sitting there with them damn 2008 fucking Lions.
Like on paper,
useless.
Yeah.
Fucking useless. Couldn't win a damn game.
It's like, so what are you trying? Like, what's the point of firing him? You're just going to bring in You're essentially bringing in the same guy.
Who's going to do the same thing?
You're not giving him shit to work. You're not gonna go 500 with Davis Mills and whoever the fuck else is on the team.
Like, just a floundering roster.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into this. All 32 NFL teams will hire a minority offensive assistant coach for the 2022 season, part of a series of policy enhancements announced Monday to address the league's ongoing diversity efforts. The coach can be, quote, a female or a member of an ethnic or racial minority. You're just going to be, you know what? Going to be a lot of white women getting hired. Watch that. According to the policy adopted by NFL owners during their annual meeting, and will be paid from a league-wide fund. Damn, so they're not even paying them with their own team money?
Yeah, where's the money coming from?
These niggas don't give a fuck. They don't give a damn. Look at this. And will be paid from a league-wide fund. You're not even putting them on your actual payroll.
I would like to see what they make.
Yeah, me too. They're probably gonna lowball them as far as salary goes. It's gonna be so stupid.
They're gonna end up joining the U.S. women's national team trying to get equal pay.
I know. Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Prophetic. The coach must work closely with the head coach and the offensive staff with the goal of increasing minority participation in the pool of offensive coaches that eventually produces the most sought-after candidates for head coaching positions. I mean, what is this real? What is this? What does this mean?
Talking fast, saying nothing.
Yeah, talking fast. when a motherfucker start talking fast, don't even listen. They lying. Okay. It's a recognition that at the moment, when you look at stepping stones for a head coach, they are the coordinator positions. Now we do know that. We clearly have a trend where coaches are coming from the offensive side of the ball in recent years, and we clearly do not have as many minorities in the offensive coordinator position. Okay, true enough. But look, Chris Bieniemy was the hottest offensive coordinator ticket in the NFL and couldn't get hired as a head coach. 3 years running and couldn't get hired as a head coach because they said, oh, well, we don't know if he's actually calling the play since him and Andy Reid are both O coordinators. Andy Reid comes out and says he's calling the plays. We're good. We're good. But then you have Byron Leftwich. But he got Tom Brady. But he was the O coordinator when they had Jameis Winston. And they were still one of the top offenses in the NFL, even though he threw 30 picks.
Yeah, still had 5,000 yards and some other crazy shit.
5,000 yards passing, 30 for 30.
I mean, he's not an offensive coach, but I mean, how good was Bill Belichick before Tom Brady came around? They ran him out of Cleveland.
How good was Bill Belichick since Tom Brady been gone?
Ran him out of Cleveland, and he had Nick Saban on the staff. I mean, two of the greatest fucking minds of defensive football ever. We think.
Yeah.
And
all things being considered, Eric Bieniemy should have been a head coach by now. And Byron Leftwich, I mean, you saw how the Jaguars did him.
They jagged it up. Jagged it up.
They jagged it up. And they actually said, fuck him. We're going to go with Doug Peterson. I mean, look, Doug Peterson, I get it. He's Super Bowl winning coach. I honestly didn't have a problem with him being hired. But it just felt so much. It would have felt so much better for the people of Jacksonville, I believe, if Byron Leftwich was able to come in there, bring Adrian Wilson from Arizona, and you have a truly new regime, a truly new look to this franchise that people actually wanted. People actually were advocating for, and they just went ahead and passed him up. The minority owner, the only minority owner in the league, said, "Fuck a minority." You know what I mean? So it's, to me, the Rooney Rule is just all hogwash and it's all talk because it never actually goes into play. And that's why adding women to the mix is only going to, complicate this shit even further because the women are going to definitely come out and start speaking up once they don't be getting hired like they think they were.
You're right. You're right.
They're going to voice that. Then they're going to voice, which I can't understand why they would do this. They're going to voice that they are not getting paid by the teams. They're getting paid from a league-wide fund. That means we ain't paying you jack shit.
So I'm assuming like all 32 owners are putting some
money in a pile. They're going to pitch in some money, and they're going to say, this is what we're working with. They get paid up to this point.
Damn.
Which is like, that's just literally setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up for some issues. And it's gonna come. It'll come. Mark my words, in 5 years, before 5 years is up, it's gonna be absurd. They're going to, the women in the NFL who are being hired. I mean, can you imagine how bad this could get? I mean, on one end, they're not going to be getting paid like the other assistant coaches that they're working with.
Yep.
They're certainly not going to get hired for any important positions outside of, general assistant, which is the motherfucker who's holding the scout cards and printing off the scout sheets. Yeah. That's what they're going to be doing. And God fucking forbid somebody put their hands on one of them. Oh. That is going to come out, and that will be another shitstorm for the NFL to deal with. And I mean, who's going to place their bets on to be in the Commanders? Hey, you might be on with that, but God forbid it happens, because if it does, it'll be a fucking shit show.
I mean, you know how many training camp, inclusion seminars they're gonna have around the league. I mean, we had some shit.
Motherfuckers ain't gonna learn nothing about football during training camp. They're gonna be learning all about inclusion.
Yeah, or
and again,
workplace etiquette with
with females coaches
in the in the locker room now, at all times. So I mean, obviously, women came in the locker room as the media, but that was like a limited basis. You have time to get yourself situated.
Get yourself right.
And now, I mean, coaches are in there at all times. So
coaches come in the locker room. They come in to get the players, to take them into meetings. If there's early meetings, unscheduled meetings, they'll come in there. They'll come sit with a guy who's having an issue. They'll come sit in his locker and go over and play with him real quick. Coaches, there's still a degree of separation there, because coaches also realize this is the player's space. If we're in there, they're in there for a moment and then they're out.
Yeah.
But the interaction is still there, because sometimes you have to handle, and they have to coach up something where we got a meeting that the whole team has to be in 10 minutes. So I got to tell you about this right now while guys are getting undressed from practice. That might be a female coach. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that I've never seen that kind of situation even be presented. Like, it's never been something that's even been a possibility, or even it's never anything I've considered, because you never really had that come up in the locker room as far as I was concerned.
Right.
But
now, do I think that everyone can be professional? I mean,
yes,
I imagine
think everyone
so.
Can be professionals, but there's
it's going to be so easy for just a mishap.
It's going to be easy for a misunderstanding. It's going to be easy for maybe a joke to be taken incorrectly.
Chris Rock, come in there.
We saw that just with two men. You know what I mean? Caused by a woman.
So we're going to get the shit slapped out of him.
For real. You know what I mean? And again, people who don't understand, and I hate to say this, because sometimes people will say, oh, that's just an excuse. Locker room culture is quite crude.
Yeah,
it is crude. It is a crude culture.
The last bastion for
true toxic masculinity.
Like blue jokes. I mean, everything goes.
Everything, I mean, if there's one way for
shit nonstop,
you know what I mean?
Like, boys will be boys type of shit.
It is literally the last space in sports.
Maybe in
the only space in sports the only space in the world, really, where you can witness grown men grown men with families acting like total fucking children. I mean, y'all remember the donut pranks. Grown men don't do that. Oh, but in the locker room, yes, they do.
Yeah, you're not doing that at Microsoft, You know
what I mean? But you're doing that in the Jaguars locker room on a freaking Saturday morning before we leave for a game. Whew. But before we continue here, we got a super chat from RC from MMIC. Says, what's up, Uche? What's up, Justin? What's up, chat? Hope all is good. How does it sound? The NFL head coach, Sarah Fuller.
They would
Sarah
nut
Fuller,
in their pants. They would nut in their fucking pants if she applied for a job.
Oh,
Can you imagine the PR
and as the first team that says no, they're going to be like, misogynist, sexist. It's like, bruh, she could barely get a kickoff 30 yards. Why would we hire her?
If I would go to the Titans like tomorrow if I was her. She went to Vandy, right?
Yeah, she went to Vanderbilt. Was the kicker for a couple of games, their last couple of games, I think.
Yeah, I'll go apply for the special teams job at Tennessee. See what happens. And as soon as they don't hire me, I'm calling Gloria Allred, and we're suing everybody.
We're suing everybody. But let's keep going here. Let's keep going through this. Where was I at? Okay. Some teams already have a coach or coaches in similar assistant roles, which will count towards the program. NFL Chief Administrative Officer Dasha Smith said, but the requirement for all teams represents the first hiring mandate in the history of the Rooney Rule, named after Art Rooney's father and designed to elevate minority hiring at all levels of the league. There has been progress in some areas, most notably with general managers and defensive coordinators. There are only 5 minority head coaches in the NFL. Commissioner Roger Goodell said in February the NFL fell short of its goals during the 2022 head coaching hiring cycle and pledged to redouble efforts this offseason. I mean, come on. Look, when Roger Goodell talks about shit like this, don't listen to his ass. He's lying. He's just lying to you.
Yeah, he works for the owners. Why?
Yeah, he works for the owners. They pay this cat $55 million a year.
Who else
don't give a damn?
Who else can make these changes? Like, he's like, we fell short. Like, well, you're the only one that's doing this shit.
You're the one who mandated it, so
like
it's your fault.
Your bosses are making the hires.
You know what I mean? In addition to the
obviously he can't make them do anything. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, come on, like you think these owners don't want to make rules that they truly in their hearts don't really give a shit about. They just make the rules so that they can say they did this, and they'll try to like make sure that they're at least doing the bare minimum. But I mean, again, you look at a situation like Urban Meyer's hiring. Shad Khan did not at all consider any other coaches, nor did he interview any other minority coaches that I remember. He didn't interview any coaches. He just hired them. Mm-hmm. When Jerry Jones was looking for a new head coach after he got rid of fuck was that?
Jason Garrett.
After he got rid of old smiley face's ass. When he was looking for a new head coach, he wanted Mike McCarthy. He was going to hire Mike McCarthy without interviewing nobody. And the league was like, whoa. You're violating the Rooney Rule. He went and he literally, oh my God, he embarrassed Marvin Lewis and had him come in for an interview that he already knew he had 0% chance of getting. Like, what was the point of that? If he came out and made it known that Mike McCarthy was the guy that he wanted and already had Mike McCarthy at his house, sleeping at his house, why even make him follow the rule at that point? Because you know it's a sham for whoever he brings in there to just satisfy the rule so that he can supersede that bum, whoever he is, and go to the next bum. And that's what happened. So it's like an embarrassment. It's literally like, okay, so I got to fly to Dallas, go meet with Jerry Jones, knowing, because I just saw it on ESPN yesterday, that the NFL's telling him he can't hire Mike McCarthy because of the Rooney Rule without talking to a minority, and now he hits me up? Like, no, I don't want, no, fuck you. I'm not coming.
I'm not going to answer that call.
Yeah, like, fuck you. You're not about to embarrass me.
You could go up there and have the fucking interview of your life.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Does not matter. You're not getting hired. Just, I mean, we might as well sit here and like talk about bitches because
that's probably what they did.
You and I both know that you're not hiring me. I know I'm not. Maybe give me some bread for coming through here and doing this, you know, because
Hey, that's
if
something.
I don't, you can't hire your guy.
That's something. Yeah.
It's something.
Pay for my time. I'm sure he flew him
pay
out
for my
private.
time to be here.
I'm sure he flew him out private and everything.
You know what I mean? You got a couple teams. You own a couple teams in the league now. Shoot. Break me off something, cuz.
You know what? I could go to the press and say, you know, we talked about complete bullshit.
Yeah, or I can say it was a productive interview and I feel like he really wanted me there.
Or there could be a duffel bag on my plane when I go back home tonight.
Just give me a duffel bag with the blue star on it. You know what I mean? With a nice little card in it saying, appreciate you coming in.
And then, you know, Buffy and Susie topped me off, in the Mile High Club. You know,
Mile High me, bro. Mile High me.
Make this worth my time.
Exactly. Make it worth my time. You know, so that we all leave this thing and we're all looking good, feeling good. You know, otherwise I'm gonna have to say you called me the N-word.
Can you prove you didn't? You know,
and who they're gonna believe? You're 80, 90.
You look like you say this shit all the time.
It's part of your vernacular. Oh, Lordy. All right, let's keep going here. In addition to offensive assistant coach mandate, the league also added women to the language of the Rooney Rule at all levels. We already been talking about that. It will now read that women and or people of color can satisfy the requirement to interview 2 external minorities for top positions, including head coach. Women are not required to be interviewed. What? Women are not required to be interviewed, but they are now included in the fulfillment process.
You can interview a woman if you want to. If you want. If you just want a throwaway meeting, you can do it with a woman.
Women are not required to be interviewed. So what the fuck are they in this for? What is this?
You know, if you want to just have a bullshit meeting.
If you want to, maybe you want to look at some tits,
Now you could just have it with a good looking waitress from down at the Hooters.
And this is I don't understand what this is supposed to accomplish. I just don't get it because it's contradictory to why they added them to begin with. You add them so that they are required to be interviewed, but now they're not required to be interviewed. I don't understand that, but let's carry on. Women are not required to be interviewed, but they are now included in the fulfillment process. It is possible that a team could interview 2 white women for an open head coach position to satisfy the Rooney Rule and then make a hire without ever interviewing a person of color. But from a practical standpoint, the Rooney said that is unlikely. Bruh, that is exactly what the fuck's about to happen.
Hey, they're gonna find 2 white chicks and fly them to every NFL city for these fucking interviews.
It's going to be the same 2 white chicks getting interviewed at every NFL city for the job. Like, this doesn't,
but it's just, honestly, I'm curious how many women are interested in these jobs. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there. I mean, I know there's women's leagues and stuff. So, I mean, are there enough that, you could, what I'm trying to get at is
I know the 49ers the 49ers have a female assistant.
The Bucks have one
secondary
too.
Coach.
I guess what I'm
Bucks
asking
have
is,
one, yeah.
Are there enough women coaches that you could mandate an interview with a woman? Or would it just be the same 2 women showing up to every city? Which I don't if they don't mind doing it, I guess I don't care, but it just seems like another easy way to skate around
getting any other minority coaches in there.
Yeah,
it seems like a little bit of a back door to still not having to actually, because if there's, come on, you can't say that interviewing 2 white women for an open head coach position would satisfy the Rooney Rule. That literally just completely delegit. It cancels out even hiring, even interviewing a black coach. Or a coach of color. It literally eliminates that. It eliminates it. You just bring in 2 women, and then you don't have to interview a guy, a black dude, or a brown dude. So it's counterproductive to the entire intent of the rule itself. Like, it literally cancels the rule out on its own, which to me just continues to cause electrical like interference in my brain because it doesn't make sense. The rule is now useless. So stop it.
Like, if I bring in, I'm trying to think of I bring in Bill Cowher, 2 white women and a black dude. Who do you think is getting hired?
Or you can just do, I bring in,
or you don't even have to bring the black dude in.
Just Bill Cowher, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what was the point of this? What's the point of the rule? So it says here, the truth of the matter is that as of today, at least, there aren't many women in the pool in terms of head coach. We hope this is going to change over the years, but for that reason, we didn't see it as inhibiting the number of interviews for racial minorities at this point in time. Obviously, we can address that as time goes on, but for now, we didn't see that as an issue.
But why?
Really, we're looking.
I mean, why not? You had the opportunity to do it right now. Why? Why wait? Why wait until?
I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
White women getting all the interviews, and you're not interviewing any black dudes.
Yeah,
or, black,
like, it doesn't make sense.
Muslim, whatever the case may be. Like, and granted, if there's enough female candidates, mandate that they need to interview. I got no problem with that either. But don't make it either or, because there's not enough of us to, like, there's already few enough of us getting hired. Like, we shouldn't be excluding anybody or diminishing the pool at all.
I mean, it literally has created a way to exclude, not to exclude one portion of what was supposed to be the original intent of the rule. It now excludes that group and that category of coach. You can exclude them passively, by just bringing in 2 white women.
Yeah, I mean, it should almost be like you have to take applications from any minority. Like, any minority that applies, you have to give an interview. Like, that's how few there are.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not like, just Joe Blow off the fucking street, but, anyone with a reasonable resume, applies.
Of course.
You should be giving them an interview at this point.
Yeah. Says, really, we're looking at probably the early stages of women entering the coaching ranks, so we may be a little ways away before that becomes a problem. See, it's just like, they're so stupid. Publicized a mission statement to encourage and attract diverse members of prospective ownership groups. The statement read in part, the membership will regard it as a positive and meaningful factor if the group includes diverse individuals who would have a significant equity stake in and involvement with the club, including serving as a controlling owner of the club. The statement does not require minority participation in ownership groups. The Denver Broncos will be the first test case. So, and that's something right there that I have felt is kind of necessary for things to go in a direction that balances out just the power structure in the NFL. There's going to need to be minority ownerships, minority individuals owning football teams. There's got to be, because just like you look at these teams and they're all owned by pretty much white guys, the majority of their staff, the majority of the people in the front office are all white people. Majority of the people with controlling power over decisions are white people. Okay, that's what it is. I'm not saying that that's racist, because I don't necessarily think that's racist. I just think you're more likely to hire those who look like you.
That's not a football problem.
That's not a football thing. Now, you have black ownership. If you have a black owner, a black equivalent to a Robert Kraft, then that front office is going to be mainly black. Those staff, those general managers, the head coaches are going to likely be black. Or even if they're not majority, it will be much more than what we see on the other end, which again is a symptom of the same issue. You hire the people that kind of look like you feel comfortable around in these people's minds. That's not necessarily how you always look at things, but generally speaking, as human beings.
Hey, if we get in the door,
that's kind of our nature.
If we get in the door, we got to make up for these other 31 now.
You know what I mean? So that's what needs to happen for it to truly, for us to truly see a shift to where now you're seeing more black head coaches, more minority head coaches, maybe even, again, and like they say here, it's probably years away, but at some point, there's a couple. I mean, I know there's one female owner in the league right now. Isn't that? Yes, there's a female owner in the league. Well, hey, if you get and I mean, I think it's a pretty old lady, right?
Yeah, she was married to Tom Benson, who passed.
Okay. So she's just kind of I own it, but ask me what we do every month.
I think she's active. I'm not.
Is she?
I believe she's active.
Hell!
I think she was, considerably younger than Mr. Benson was. I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but I mean, she's got her wits about her. I think she's involved somewhat.
Okay, then that's fucking great then, because I had no idea what her place is with the team other than she's replacing a dead husband. So to hear that she's active, I actually think that's pretty cool. But when you start to see maybe a female owner who's maybe half her age, that's fully invested,
any given Sunday,
fully knowledgeable. Yes, like any given Sunday, like a female hawk who's she's wretched on the business end, like these men are. That's when you'll start seeing women. Maybe you'll start seeing women coaches come in more prominent positions because they got a woman of strength who is calling the shots. This formula is going to be the same for everybody. It's just, when does their time come? In my opinion. So for black minorities in the NFL, for these top positions, I think it's going to take black ownership to really push the ball forward on that, and then we'll see things become more active on that front. Same for women.
Can we get Mackenzie Scott in there? She's giving away hella money to HBCUs.
For real. Whew. Somebody give me the cat who used to own BET. Shoot.
Well, he owned the Hornets for a while.
You know what I mean?
Robert Smith, I think.
Yeah, get them cats in there. But I really do, believe that for these things to get better, you have to have some of your own in there in the positions of true ownership. Yeah. That's how it gets better.
You have to have a seat at the table.
Because because not only will they have the ability to bring those hires in, but at the table, like you say, sitting at the table with those other owners, that voice can present narratives and perspectives that those other owners, as simple as it may seem to us, those other owners could never even have come up with that. They could never thought of it that way. And that's what'll change them in the long run, to where they'll be like, you know what, let's get this cat. You know what I mean? Because they're being presented with a narrative and with a perspective that is more attuned to us when we deal with each other. And then they see where there's, okay, now I see why there's such a push for it, because this is what they're looking for. And, that's what'll help the whole league in the long run. But let's go ahead and knock the rest of this shit out, because let's see here. Announced, let me see. There's an announced diversity advisory committee, part of Goodell's pledge to invite outside experts to evaluate the league's diversity. Okay, here goes the NFL trying to investigate it, or trying to have oversight on itself again. Among its 6 members is former Houston Texans general manager Rick Smith. Okay, great. It also includes former New Jersey Attorney General Peter Harvey and Pamela Carlton, the founder and president of Springboard. Goodell has raised the possibility of eliminating the Rooney Rule entirely and starting over, but Dr. Smith said it remains effective in multiple areas. It has been very helpful to our diversity efforts overall, she said. While we haven't seen the results we want to, certainly with the head coach position, we have seen this season. We have this season seen results that show the progress, particularly in the defensive coordinator roles. Which to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because defensive coordinators, you've always seen black defensive coordinators in there. I feel like I feel like that's kind of been a spot where they've actually grown organically. Because
and
a lot of their
just in the same release said that that's not where head coaches are coming from.
Yeah, and that's not where they're coming from. So it's like you're double talk. There's double talk. Now you want to keep the rule because it's giving you black DCs. But black DCs have always kind of been a thing because they usually got good units because a lot of those players on defense are black. So they work well with the black defensive coordinator.
And also,
you see how that works?
It's not the cerebral position that you're not coaching the quarterback basically.
Yeah.
They
don't have the quarterback. It's the instinctual side of the ball.
Only in your and I's lifetime could be a black man. So
yeah. So again, I think that they're all over the place with this rule, and I think it's actually probably in the league's best benefit to eliminate it and just try and amend the Constitution and bylaws of the league itself to kind of more naturally include requirements there. I honestly feel like it shouldn't be. I feel like if you're really truly trying to push something, it has to be 50-50. 50% of your interviews got to be minorities. 50-50. That way, there's the same amount on each side. Now, again, it all boils down to, do they give a fuck enough
who gets the hire?
To hire one of the black coaches from that side, or one of the minority coaches, or are they just going to hire a white one? It all still boils down to, does the person making the decision actually give a damn, or are they just trying to fulfill and satisfy the rule? Because as long as they're trying to satisfy the rule, it doesn't matter what you change the rule to. Because they're not looking to hire that black or minority coach, period. So it's like, whatever. Okay. To end this, it says here, league record 15 minorities are among the NFL's defense coordinators for
that's almost half.
That's almost half. According to league data, overall minority coaches make up about 39% of the league total, up from 35% in 2021. There are also a league record 12 women on coaching staff.
Well, I think
coaching staffs.
We make up 70% of the league players.
Yeah, players are 70% of the league.
Maybe a little higher.
Yeah, it's. I think it's right at 70%. Look, man, football. It's America's sport, but the drive of the reason why it's America's sport is because of the black athletes in it. The action, the speed of it, the athleticism of it, and no disrespect to any other, races in football, because we've had dashes of Asian here and there. We've had dashes of Mexican and Latino here and there. We've had, European here and there. And, it's really, it's seen, you've seen those little touches in the league every now and then, every few years or so. You see that. Oh, this dude's, Martin Gramatica. The Gramatica brothers were a thing in the NFL. You know what I mean? You got Koo from Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's a thing in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, there's diversity in the league, but make no mistake, the reason why the league is what it is today is because of the amazing, the marketing machine that it has, and the black athletes that they run that marketing machine off of. And the people who buy the jerseys, come on, man. The Raiders became a fashion style because of black folks.
Yeah. You see Ice Cube, or
you know what I mean? The Raiders became a fashion style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Cowboys.
Like no one was wearing jerseys like that.
Nobody. Black folks made it cool to rock jerseys as your clothes, not just as your clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not to a game, just out and about. Go to school and
you know what I mean? Just out and about. Like, that's a style. You know what I mean? So there is a lot of black culture and black influence in football. And it's not the only influence in there. There's influence from many different cultures that have caught on to the love of football. But when all things are considered, there's a lot of diversity and a lot of equal diversity in everything that surrounds and touches the NFL, except for on the field in decision making for the teams. That's the only places. Those are the only places in decision making for the teams when it comes to head coach and general managers, the two positions that are truly decision makers. That's the only place where there's not balance. So at some point, we got to figure out a way to balance it because
obviously owners, but those don't get hired.
And owners don't get hired, but
we've already talked
about where that we've already talked about where that has to change. But I do believe that having that balance only makes the league better because you'll see that there is a kind of different walk to teams that are coached by black coaches. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers are a perfect example of that. Nobody has done what they've done with their head coach who's been at the helm. Nobody's done what they've done. They got 6 Super Bowls and they ain't had a losing season in 15 years. Nobody's done that. And that comes from from that team replicating their head coach's mentality. Even when they don't got the talent for it. They had a quarterback who's been dying on the field the last 3 years, and they still managed to win games. So, it's just a perfect encapsulation of what could be if you did more of this. So we'll see how that plays out as the future continues to roll onward into the present. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. I think that's a good little makeup stream from not being able to get it done yesterday. But make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Tomorrow we will actually get back onto watching some more film. I think we're like our sixth or seventh. We're at our sixth offensive lineman coming up.
Number six.
Last one, he's sitting here. The last guy we looked at was
he set the bar pretty high.
He set that bar pretty high. So there is going to need to I'm excited to see what the last group of guys is going to look like because I've started to have a little bit of discussion online with some of the gurus of scouting on Twitter who talk about guys like Evan Neal, and I tell them Evan Neal ain't the one. Not if he ain't the one at left tackle.
Not if you need a guy tomorrow.
Not if you need a guy to play tomorrow. He ain't the one. Now he could be good. He looks like he's got natural talent, but some of those intangible techniques and polish that you got to have to be when you're on the field, he ain't got it. He ain't even close. But we'll see as we continue to go through the last group of guys on our 10 best O-linemen for this year's draft, and we will continue to break them down. And I'm going to start doing the cut-ups to put those videos out. I think starting next week, I'll start putting them out. Once we rank these guys, once we get to a point where we can start ranking them, then we'll start from 10, and we'll work our way down to 1 by the time the NFL draft gets here. So look forward to that. And we do appreciate you guys for being in here with us and hanging out. We will catch everybody on, tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 7:10-ish. Always say ish because it's always either a few minutes before or a few minutes after. So, stick with us on that. But we will catch you all then. We really appreciate you guys for being in here with us late tonight. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.